Բարդ ես։
Որտե՞ղ ես։
Բանաձորից եմ։
Ինչ ես անում։
Սովորում եմ։
Որտե՞ղ։
Շինարարական բաժնում։
Արև։
Ես սովորել եմ աշխատում Technion-ում։
Որտե՞ղ ես սովորել։ Հա։ Դու ես պոլիտեխնիկ սովորել։ Որտե՞ղ են եկել։
Senior Executive Vice President.
Pleasure. Sivan. Yes. Armեն Սարգսյան. Yes, pleasure. Very nice to meet you.
Senior Executive Vice President.
Hi,
Professor
nice to meet you.
Oded Rabinovich.
Welcome you to the Technion. I hope this is only the first visit of many others to come. Thank you very much.
I would like to emphasize why I'm here, because I was invited by the President of Israel to be a part of the commemoration of similar very big tragic event, which is the Holocaust. The title of this speech is about 21st century and the new era of artificial intelligence. Well, I hope that 21st century, the era of artificial intelligence, we will all have human logic still. And we will not do the horrors that we did in the 20th century. So it was my great honor to represent my country at that event, and also to talk to everybody there that we have responsibility now to make sure that these things never happen. Before the era of artificial intelligence and in the era of artificial intelligence, which is complex, complicated, and a lot of us, we don't still understand how it's going to work and will it work. And this uncertainty makes a lot of us nervous. I mean, the world nervous, and uncertainty also raises more questions than answers. You are in one of the best universities in the world, and I mean that because I know you were a university when some of you were not born, because I came here early 90s, okay, and I came because I used to do research on relativistic astrophysics and theory of gravity, and back in Soviet Union, and I wrote several articles on biometric theories of gravitation and their applications to astrophysical objects. It's a great university not only by history of what you are doing, it's unique because it's a technological university, it's not a university of engineering simply, it combines many things together. And that is what is going to happen in the 21st century. Universities like this will be anchors of development. And I hope that we in Armenia have more than 50 universities, but they're classical ones. I think on the humanities, natural sciences, pure engineering. But I would love one day to have a university in Armenia that combines everything, natural sciences up to engineering and other subjects as well. Because that's the future of it. And we were speaking with Professor Sivan about the future of the business. I mean, you go back 20, 30 years ago, every young man after graduating from university after one was dreaming to go to a business school. A classical business school, they teach you macroeconomics, microeconomics, management and all of that stuff. I do believe, and you can test that by asking those who are graduates from different universities or especially good business schools, how many of them would like to become a banker or something. Most of them want to go to run a startup, a new technology company. So why on earth we don't do the other way around? You open business school based on phenomenally great university like yours, and whoever has engineering skills will get some sense of business and will run it. The way I see it, if I would be the one to give advice to my children, although I have missed that because they're both I have two sons, they're both grown up, they have their own businesses, they found their own way. But I would say if you want to be successful doing business in your life, learn natural sciences and mathematics. That will help you to live. Because logic is logic for everywhere. And you are used to logic. If you are used to use the basis or the fundamentals of logic, it will help you when you are in business, it will help you when you are in politics. It's everywhere. It is everywhere. And of course, if you add there a little bit of education in law, because every future businessman has to know law, at least to read the contract that he's signing, because you cannot always rely on the lawyer that you hire. You pay them a lot of money, but sometimes they don't understand the subject. And of course you have to know a little bit of finances to understand your bottom line and to read your financial papers. And here you are. Add a little bit of common sense, you become a businessman. Because this world is becoming a new startup. And every young man will have an opportunity of coming up with creativity. This is what we see with big companies. For years I used to work with big multinationals. I mean really big European, American multinationals as their chief advisor. And the one thing I do see now, the classical form of that system, which is the hierarchy with the chairman, the CEO, and goes down and down. And in order to rise up, you have to go the classical way, going from the bottom up, being educated in one university, getting a position and going up. But the world is changing. It's more becoming a place where innovation, new ideas are becoming important. Even the big companies now are starting inside them a sort of spaces for innovation. One thing that will be encouraged in the 21st century is innovation, new ideas. So except your education, what we need is the spirit of being free and strong and believer that you can have idea, and your company or your personal company or the company that you work for or the country needs those ideas. So that's 21st century. We are entering. Crossroad of change. And that change is going to be dramatic. It is dramatic. And there are a lot of unknowns. Now we live in a different world. We are interconnected individuals, each of us, like elementary particles. We interact with the speed of light, like elementary particles. We are gradually getting, I'm sorry for, you may take or leave what I'm going to say, but we start believing like quantum objects. Half of our life is virtual, and when we are virtual, we are quantum. Quantum in the sense that our relations are not classical, quantum in the form that our relations our interconnection has the similar quality. Quantum in the form that we are behaving not classically at all. Here we are, the beginning of the 21st century, again we are on a crossroad, but not in a form of one science like physics, but globally. We are lost. It's not my words, I'm coming from Davos. Everybody was saying that it's difficult, it's problematic, we don't know where to go, we don't know how economy is going to develop, we don't know what is going to happen in the future, what is the technology going to, are there going to be wars, the scale of global risk is growing and so on. So we are on a crossroad, we don't know. And as you said, classical institutions, they don't work. And more we see that what is happening there, it's very difficult to explain with our classical logic. So you can only do that because I think that's the solution if we again change our logic. If we approach the world affairs in a differently. The reality is that a lot of things are changing. Look at politics. Let me take you something into politics. In many countries, the classical ways of running politics, when the politics is defined by specific ideology, and the ideology is about socialism or equality or about free market liberalism, Then the ideology creates group of people, interconnections or collectivities. They are members of the party, and they are basically structuring the political structure of the country, and you have elections every 4 or 5 years. You have elections. You fight it, you are elected. There is a government that is running the country, and they are responsible for you. They come once or 3 months to see their constituency, or in every year some reporting, and eventually 4 or 5 years another election. How it's run today? I mean, there is a daily connection between those who are electing and those who are elected on Facebook. So it's a 24 hours live with the speed of light reaction on what is happening in politics. So if you're a politician running it, you get hundreds of thousands of mails saying you're right or swearing on you because there are no rules and regulations there. It's for free. And God knows, will we manage to get regulations on ideas or words presented on Facebook or Twitter and so on and so forth. And what happens now is in many countries, the political ideology is gradually losing space. And what is gaining space is a high energy particle, high energy politician. A politician which is charismatic, a politician that is carrying a lot of hopes, ideas, that has a speed and can hit the environment which is potentially radioactive and had the necessary mass, and that hits, the particle hits that material, and here we get, what do we get? A nuclear fusion. It happens. If more than 100 years ago, we humans have discovered that the nature, the world, is no longer classical, and it's quantum, and starting seriously looking at the quantum world, and trying to understand, do our research, and also to use the features of the quantum world. What I'm trying to deliver now is that most probably our human behavior on this planet is becoming quantum as well. So it is going to be more and more difficult to explain that in a form of classical forms of human behavior, which is the way politics was run, the way industries were run, and the way international relations were organized. And because we are on the crossroad and we have not embraced the simple idea, and that the world as well has become non-classical, it's becoming more and more quantum. And in order to be successful in business, in technology, even in politics, we have to change our logic. The way we run politics, the way we run international relations, and the way we look at the future. Then probably we will learn how to predict. Because the usual tools of prediction in the classical world are gone. In this world, where so many things look unpredictable, if we change our philosophy, our logic will be able to understand. So maybe I would say that this world is also quantum, and it's fascinating because it opens huge perspective to use the new logic that we have learned 100 years ago of quantum mechanics in order to understand 21st century in the era of artificial intelligence. I'm not going to lecture here because you are the ones that can lecture me about how the artificial intelligence is going to change the world. The way we run our healthcare, how powerful we will become with the artificial intelligence and new technologies in identifying our, not only doing a simple genomic engineering, but really understanding and controlling our health. How it will change the whole way that we are managing our industries. How we are going, of course, to handle the fear that artificial intelligence is going to destroy working spaces, which I don't believe so, because in reality, like 40, 50 years ago, computers didn't destroy working places. They created hundreds of millions of new working places. We will go into an area where humans will do much more creative work. It's going to change the way we run industries. Big corporations are going to be hit by the decision. Either they change their behavior to encourage quantum innovation of individuals, because this is what every and each corporation will be looking for. Not just acting as a soldier, as an engineer standing there and putting things together, but coming up with an idea of innovation for every and individual one. So every individual engineer or worker at the place will be seen also if they come with the creative work. But of course, with all of that, I would like to say that the most important things will still remain the human ones, which are simple human words and emotions, which are love, respect, being honest, because if we lose them, and then there'll be no natural intelligence, there'll be only artificial one. If we lose them, we can create hell on this planet and beyond. So morality, love, caring each other will stay the greatest values of human beings in the future as well, beyond the era of artificial intelligence. And this is probably one thing that universities, great universities like yours, among physics, mathematics, maybe tomorrow also law or finances, could teach your students, because the future will be in your hands. I would love to, as we were speaking, to create a bridge between Armenia and Armenian University and universities and Technion. And specifically we're speaking, I would like to tell you, because there's a presidential initiative in Armenia which is called ATOM, Advanced Tomorrow. It's abbreviation, ATOM, Advanced Tomorrow. It's a place that I'm trying to bring the best of the world in artificial intelligence mathematical modeling through big multinational companies and best universities in a small place in Armenia, in order to give boost to that sector of knowledge, artificial intelligence, mathematical modeling in Armenia, and also to create bridges between great universities. So I'm going to work very hard for my country, and I would love if Technion will be one of our partners. Thank you very much.
You talked a lot about how technology is changing our lives and how and there's a lot of advantages in that area. But I feel that the more we advance in technology, we are losing the human touch. Now, the technology allows us to interconnect, as you said, with someone with Australia, and this is incredible. But it also eliminates real meetings and eye-to-eye meetings, and we as social beings are not accustomed to this. So how do you see us in the future?
Well, first of all, I think we are just children that have just discovered a nice tool, a nice toy. After a while, we get bored with it. We will start again valuing that the person sitting near to you is the dear person to you, and you don't need the gadget in order to communicate. But I also made a point that despite all of the advantages and everything, real human values will be the most important one. When I spoke about love, I don't know how you're going to express love virtually. You can write about it, but how to make it virtual. I think it's more human, about morality, love, and so on. So I think these ones will become more and more important, hopefully. Because when we're on the early stage, we're just so excited with what we have. We don't regulate it, we don't know how to deal with it. We don't know even how to control it, because it can damage us, because it's a tool that can damage us. And of course we don't know how to live without it, or just leave us aside. Because everybody is so fascinated, wherever you go, everybody after 5 minutes gets the telephone and start doing something. Yeah? It's childish. because it's the first part that we're so excited we have this fantastic thing from aliens. Huh? With the time, it becomes obsolete, because that thing will be inside here, or somewhere, a small chip here, and you will just continue living your normal life in a different form. We'll find a way of being human. I hope. Thank you very much.